Hello, White Sox fans, and welcome to another episode of the FutureSox podcast, part of the Just Baseball and Media Network. My name is Ian Eskridge. Joining me, as always, Mr. James Fox. Tonight, we're going to be getting into some Rule 5 protections or lack thereof, recent transactions, and some coaching hires. Hi, James. How are you?
I'm good, man. How's it going? Whirlwind of a few days, huh?
Yeah, it's been a weekend leading into this emergency surgery. Everything is good to go in our house, so that's good. Your weekend also, Saturday, not a good day for you.
Yeah, bittersweet. We just didn't play good enough, and like it is what it is, right? Like I think everybody kind of knew what's like waiting, like at the end of the tunnel, and if anybody's like following my Twitter, they've seen, whatever public private debates, like like Mount Carmel's really good, so. Like you want to go downstate because it's cool and like it would have been a cool experience for the kids and whatnot. But yeah, so as we go played awesome. We lost 10-7. Good season. We weren't really expecting to go as far as we did. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the end. The end of the season next week. Next week or 2 weeks from now. When is it? Next week? It's 2 weeks, right?
No, it's this Friday, Saturday. Yeah, it's like it's
Okay.
always Thanksgiving weekend.
All right. So you would have basically been going against Sauron, when you got there. So I mean, great season. You guys made it this close to state, great season.
Yeah, I think it's the
So
four. It's like the fourth best team in school history. So cool.
can't complain about that,
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into these Rule 5 things here. Um, Elijah and Dylan already kind of talked about it on their show, but let's go ahead and hop into it ourselves. So the one that everybody knew was coming was Tanner McDougal. Everybody knew he was getting protected. No shock there, right?
No, no, none at all. I mean, that one was kind of a no-brainer. I think Getz even kind of talked about it, right? Like he called him like one of the premier pitching prospects like in the industry. So, they think as highly as we do. I think we see Tanner this year, obviously, in a starting role in the big leagues at some point. So that one was kind of a no-brainer, but the other protection I think caught us a little bit off guard, and some of the guys that weren't added really kind of caught us off guard. It was a strange week. I know we're gonna like get into all of it. Just like lots of names and dudes that I think the last time we did this, we didn't really anticipate that we were going to be talking about.
No, yeah, it was, so I mean, I'm assuming that most of the people that are listening, because they probably follow all of our socials and everything, Duncan Davitt is also protected under the Rule 5. And, like one of the things that I heard this week was that his agent said that if he didn't get traded, he was going to get protected, which is also kind of weird.
Yeah, so I guess it means that other people were also going to protect him. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean, I guess
That
I
so that kind
don't.
of so that kind of tells me that he would have been taken in Rule 5.
Yeah, and I find this whole thing kind of interesting just in general, because you're talking about a guy that, his analytics come back pretty good. Um but he's a command control guy who's throwing like 93, 94 miles an hour. So I think that this is kind of one of those things where it's like you're basically looking at a guy that's healthy version of Mason Adams that didn't have the results that Mason Adams had.
Yeah, well, it's all like I think Mason stuff's like better, but
Yeah.
it's kind of so like this is kind of the argument for not protecting Shane Murphy is that those types of guys just like don't really go in Rule 5 because everybody kind of has guys that are similar, right? So, but I mean, Duncan Davitt's like the right-handed version of that. So, I mean, look, he throws a little harder than Shane Murphy, right? But
Oh yeah, yeah.
like Shane Murphy throws like 89, he's lefty, so it's fine, right? But so like that, like the closer we got, the more I understood, right? Because I was like, okay, Shane Murphy, like they're pretty confident he's not going to go. It's just not the type of profile that has gone lately. And then obviously we'll get into the other guy, but yeah, I mean, they must. I mean, Davitt was acquired at the deadline with Curtis Mead, and I would say, like, he's in the mix, right? I mean, we kinda talk about, I think there's 2 locks in the starting rotation, and then we've talked about Sean Burke and Jonathan Cannon, and, I don't think McDougal starts at the club, but he's on the 40 man as a starter. Duncan Davitt's like one of those guys now. He's like one of the, next guys up is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, one of the things that we keep on talking about, or at least that I keep on bringing up, is that everybody in the major leagues use 12 to 13 starting pitchers minimum through an entire season. So there's no doubt out there that outside of, you go ahead and give us those six guys, there's going to be another six guys that are going to get used and get starts during the year. Who that is remains to be seen, obviously.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Getz like made a comment about how he could have utility what as a starter or as a reliever. I mean, I guess like what the reliever role would be like he's up as a long guy or something or like a bulk guy, I guess, but I don't know. It seems like a back end starter profile to me.
Yeah, and so here's one of the things that really is just kind of got me reeling here that I don't get. Sleepy brings up protect two players, axe a few more off the 40 man to end up with 34 was certainly a choice. And here's the thing is that we're going to get to it here in a few minutes, but there was a bunch of trades made and they're still under where they started.
Right. Yeah, which tells me they're probably gonna sign some free agents. I don't know how much money they're gonna spend, right? But I think they're adding here. Like, this seems to be I mean, you're gonna save one spot for and I don't think they're done, like, churning guys off the roster because you have a whole glut of right-handed hitting infielders that are all out of options. So this is, like, definitely not the team, right? Like, so I will say, like, Chris Getz has obviously made some questionable trades. Um, they have to have some inkling that some of these guys just, like, aren't gonna go like, my guess is on Mason Adams, like, they just think nobody's gonna do that and, because it's July and nobody's gonna wanna take it into 2027 when there might not be a season or whatever, you know what I mean? And then with the other guys, I feel like, man, at this point, I feel like if somebody took Peyton Pallette, like, they're fine with it. They just, like, didn't deem him worthy of protecting. And look, we speculated about this. Like, I I said when they didn't add him to the roster in September, I was a little bit worried. Not like, worried's probably the wrong word, right? But like, I generally thought like they would have gotten ahead of it and like put him on the 40 man. With Tanner, it was different because they seemed to care about winning the Southern League title, right? Peyton Pallette was wasting away in Charlotte. He could have came up and pitched in Chicago. And the fact that he didn't kind of told me that like maybe they don't really care about him all that much.
Yeah, it's kind of odd because he's a second round pick from a few years ago coming back from TJ. So obviously the starting pitching didn't work out so well for him, but out of the bullpen, he's looked, other than a speed bump in Charlotte, because everybody has a speed bump in Charlotte. He was pretty good. So, I answer a couple of the questions
There's a
here.
few here.
Just to answer this for Jamie, if a Sox player gets picked, do they get to pull player or players back? No, they do not. It was their chance to pull them out of consideration was the Rule 5
Yeah,
protections,
adding them.
and that is it. So,
Yeah, so essentially the way it goes is like say Peyton Pallette gets picked by somebody. He has to be on somebody's big league team all year, or they have to get offered back to the White Sox. Now they go on waivers first. So somebody else could, in theory, like whatever, like say the Nationals take Peyton Pallette, he doesn't make the team out of spring training. They put him on waivers. The Cubs like him. The Cubs claim him. He can be, but then it's still Rule 5 rules. It's like what the White Sox did last year with Mike Vassell, basically. Um, and then if like he doesn't make a 26 man, then he like returns to your organization, basically, is how it goes. So yeah, I mean the guys that have typically been taken, like Shane Smith is very much an outlier. Like it's usually starter profiles who convert to bulk relief, hard throwing relievers with stuff and no control, and then like occasional position players.
well, I mean, that's what Shane Smith was initially. The Brewers had moved him from a starting role into the bullpen when they moved him to AAA to play for the Nashville Sounds. And it just so happens that in the offseason, he added that changeup, and that pretty much changed his profile overnight.
Right, and that's the type of thing that we're never gonna know, right? Like, I got a little bit lucky last year, like, I read the Shane Smith profile, and I'm like, "Oh, this seems like a guy that Bannister would like, that would make sense." Like, I had no inside information on that, I just it is what it is. You never know, like, like, one of these guys goes out and all of a sudden they have a 70 grade changeup because they went to Cressy or somewhere. Like, there's just no way of, like, us knowing that, right? So, I'm
Yeah.
sure it'll be interesting, like, they'll make a pick, they'll take a guy 2nd overall, it'll likely be a pitcher, and then we'll, kinda dig into it, but I think holding them to the standard of, like, they should be able to do this again because 'cause they've done it once is probably unfair. Because what they did last year is very, very uncommon.
Yeah. Um, Kev says, sorry if every time I come on here I talk about Mason Adams. Same, man.
It's
Same.
fine. Yeah.
Speaking of,
Do you think his age, like, matters or not really?
uh,
Like, in
n-
regards to other teams caring? Because he is, like, 26, I think.
I mean, possibly, but um, I don't think it matters all that much. Because I mean, most of these guys that come out of college that aren't like, the guy when they come out, usually they do take longer to
Yeah,
get
it
to the
takes a
majors
while.
just because they're not prioritized, you
Yeah.
know? It doesn't matter what their stats are unless they are coming out, throwing 100 miles an hour. Those are the guys that move quicker.
Right, and I mean, like, if Mason Adams doesn't get hurt, he's on the 40 man because he probably makes 15 starts in Chicago last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's I don't think it's a matter of, like, we don't like Mason Adams. I think it's he's rehabbing. We don't think somebody else is gonna take him. Now we'll see if they're right.
Yeah. Interesting little tidbit about Mason Adams also is that he's now working out at Cressy 3, 4 times a week. So he joined, well, I mean, Tanner, he only goes there right after the season's over and then works out of Vegas. But he joins Tanner McDougal as another guy that's working out at Cressy in the White Sox system. So that's good stuff.
Yeah. So what is there anything else that we so Sleepy wants what Giordani Monegro? That's one of the possible Rule 5 guys, right? And then a relief Rule 5 guy. Yeah, so, like, I don't really know, like, what their plan is gonna be, like, do you try to get a starter? Do you get a guy who you think can pitch in the back of your bullpen? Like, because I mean, even the year before, they took Shane Drohan, and then he got hurt, but now he's, like, kinda good. It's, like, to the point where Boston protected him this time around. So they might have been
I
so they
thought
might
that
have been
was
onto
pretty
something
funny.
there too, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was supposed to be, but then he ended up getting injured.
He got hurt
So,
with the Sox, yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So we never ended up finding out exactly what he was. Um,
Somebody mentioned Reggie Crawford, like, yeah, I mean, that's, like, premium stuff. It hasn't really worked, and I think there's been injuries, but that's a former first round pick of the Giants. Um, a big lefty who throws hard, who also he was like a two-way player in college. Um, yeah, I haven't really dug in yet to like what it'll be, right? But I would imagine pitcher.
yeah, like the only other guy that I've really put any thought into of possibly getting picked out of the Sox system is Schweitzer. That's the only other guy that I've really put some serious thought into that he might be a guy that somebody might be willing to take a chance on him. He goes and had what was it, 43 scoreless innings,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
down the back stretch of the double A season. Playoffs didn't go as well for him, but that happens. Just being playoffs and whatever. But um, you're looking at above average fastball there. And he's stretched out as a starter. And I think that somebody might be willing to take a chance on that. Paulette is the one that, is one of those ones where if he went off, I would just say, yeah, that makes complete sense that somebody else grabbed him.
yeah. I mean,
But that's,
it's
yeah,
definitely reliever only at this point. Like, I wonder if other teams have Peyton Pallette. Like, I don't know. Like, we'll see. Like, it's a couple of weeks from now, right? The Rule 5 draft, like, on the Wednesday, and
yeah,
we'll still either be, full of euphoria or grieving about the draft lottery the day before. So
yeah. That's gonna be a fun 24 hours there.
I
Eesh.
I listened to Chuck Garfine's latest podcast, and he had Brooke Fletcher and Connor McKnight on, and they were kind of doing
Mm.
off-season prediction thing, and he did a like a tankathon thing, right? Like live during the podcast, and they got the number one pick. So I don't know if that's good, but
I
a good omen. I have no idea. But then
I
I
don't.
think, but then I think he did it again, and they had the sixth pick. So it's
Yeah,
great.
I
It's
don't
great.
believe in omens.
Yeah.
I think it's just we'll see what happens. We'll either get the luck will be with us or it will not, and we'll see.
It's gonna be, yeah, like, I don't really get anxious, but, like, the way they do the thing, right, where it's, like, 18-1 and, like, I kind of, like, calculate really quickly, like, what that mean you know what I mean? Like, what that means. I feel like a lot of people, like, don't, right? But I know that the Mets pick goes back 10 spots, so if they're not listed, like, I kinda know where they pick, like, okay, they're not in the top s like, that sort of thing, and I'm, like, constantly calibrating. It is kinda, like, nerve-wracking for, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Um, I I'm not looking to forward to that first couple of minutes there, before the first pick, and then if we don't get it, it's not going to matter, whether we pick second or third at that point for me because I'm going to be
Yeah.
I'm already going to be off the rails. It's not going to matter anymore. I'm just going to be mad.
Yeah, so I think the one hope, and obviously we'll be talking about this for the next couple weeks, is like even if you're second or third, that you get a small market team that like doesn't want to take the top player, which is I think possible.
That does happen. We've seen that. What was that? Travis Bazana.
Yeah, like it happened, like because I could totally see like the Sox, like with their history with Arizona guys, like with Chalowski, like if they're like, look, we don't care where we pick, we have 10.5 million for you. Um, Make somebody beat it, like that sort of thing. So it's like not the end of the world because there's also an awesome high school player, but like, yeah, it's gonna be super annoying if they're like fourth or something.
Yeah. All right. So you want to move to these transactions here?
Yes, because
All right.
they were strange. I mean, the first, yeah, no, you can go ahead. Start wherever you were, because I'm like
All right.
trying to
So
like process all of these.
yeah, I
Like,
know it. Yeah, 100%. So Kev says, "Do you see any surprises coming from?" Now I'm going to change it from winter meetings to just from the Sox, and I have to say that I was pretty surprised to see Chris Getz come out of the gate with these trades.
mhm.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it to start, going that quickly.
No, no, me neither. They like got ahead of some stuff. There was some stuff that I wasn't that surprised about. But I mean, I didn't like know who some of these guys were, honestly.
Yeah. All right. So the first deal that happened was our man Sleepy Harold's unsung hero, Mr. Rony Hernandez, catcher for the Kannapolis Cannonballers, um, had, I would say, probably a little bit more hype than the results that he got with the Ballers. The power never really showed up. A couple of home runs, not much else. I mean, he had a lot of doubles and he did hit some singles. I'll give him that. Um, Defense was okay. Threw out some base runners, was decent behind the plate, but it wasn't what everybody was hoping for when he first popped out. So, uh, yeah, I know, Carrie.
Well,
Roni is gone.
and
My apologies.
they have lots of catching because they take like two college catchers every year, right? There's just
Hmm.
I don't know, like so obviously this was the Chris Murphy trade, who's a lefty from Boston, who's a former starter reliever now. Had Tommy John. Do you think like I don't know? Do you think were you like surprised by this return? Because like I don't think Chris Murphy's like great by any means, right? But he has options and he'll go into your bullpen and like I don't know. Like I liked Rony Hernandez like for a while, but at this point it's like trading him for a big league reliever, I think makes plenty of sense. Like I guess I'm just kind of surprised that Boston was that interested in doing that.
Yeah, that's the part that I don't get. I don't understand why Boston did this. Left-handed reliever
Hmm.
with a 1.18 WHIP last year in 23 appearances. Um, and his stats were a lot better in 2025 than in his first year, 2023. Has TJ in the middle, in April of 2024, and comes back in July last year. He's got 7 pitches. Um, it looks like his curveball looks a little bit more of a slurve profile, and that's his second most used pitch, I think. And then the slider's third behind his fastball. I mean, he's got
He doesn't throw super hard, right? But he's left-handed,
no,
so
he's
it's
like
fine.
94, I
Yeah.
think. I think he throws like 94, and but the thing is that his he doesn't qualify because he didn't throw enough innings last year, but he's in like the 95th percentile or something for ground ball rate.
Mhm.
It's interesting. So, I mean, could be that this is the reliever from the Red Sox that we should have gotten in the first place instead of Cam Booser and
Yeah.
trading away Yoiker Fajardo.
Yeah, like, if you that's the thing, right? Like, if you're Boston, I totally understand trading 32-year-old lefty reliever with a bunch of options for Yoiker Fajardo. I just, like, don't really know what Rony Hernandez does for you at this point. Sorry, Carrie. Just in, like, is that guy gonna like? Would you like? Is that guy gonna play in the big leagues? My guess is like no, and if he does, like, it'll be 3 years from now. Like, it's a fine trade for the White Sox. I was just kind of like, oh, that's like when they said that he was traded for a catcher. I was like, is this Corey Lee? I was like,
Yeah.
does somebody, does somebody want Adam Hackenberg? Like, I just don't, I don't know. It was kind of weird. And then I was like, oh, okay, Hernandez, got it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was Corey Lee, but then I would have expected probably, I don't know, just a prospect with Murphy if it was Corey Lee, just because catching's a little bit more overvalued, I would think,
yeah,
or a
y-
little bit more valued than just a 27-year-old left-handed reliever that's only got a season,
yeah,
one season total.
right. It was really funny when I first saw it because I was like, oh, Chris Murphy acquired for a catcher. I'm like, so first of all, who's Chris Murphy and who is the catcher?
Yeah, that was part of the problem is that Chris Murphy, while he did have great stats last year, it's one of those guys that just kind of completely goes under the radar. Is just like what sixth rounder
Yeah.
out of University of San
Well, and
Diego,
he was a
huh?
starter, and he was a starter first, right? So for a little bit.
Yeah, so
Hi, Trey. How's it
I don't
going,
know.
dude?
Good to see you, Trey.
Well, speaking of generated players, we got another one coming.
So this one is I don't know. This was kind of a another one of those weird trades, but not really because the White Sox trade 2 right-handed pitchers in Steven Wilson, one of the returns from the Cease trade, and then free agent signing from the Yankees, Yoendrys Gomez, who pitched well for the White Sox down the stretch,
Yeah,
and not necessarily unhittable stuff, but he put some decent starts out there down the stretch to kind of help the White Sox get closer to not losing 100 games.
yeah, for
But
sure.
from Tampa, they end up getting one-time heralded prospect Everson Pereira, center fielder, and then a utility guy, Tanner Murphy, sorry, the Murphy and Murray things got me on tilt
Auto-generated
here.
players. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Tanner Murray plays second base, shortstop, third base, left field, right field, does play center field, but you don't want him there. Um,
so you knew
Interesting trade.
you knew who this player was, correct?
Yeah, because he played
Because
against
you
the
watch a lot of
Knights.
minor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did not know who this player was,
fair enough.
and then I looked him up, and I'm like, numbers aren't like 18 homers. I'm like, I bet he's a good defender. Because they also added him to the 40 man. So like it seems like look, these are both of these guys weren't going to get added to their respective 40 mans with the Rays, which is why they were available, right? The same thing with the Sox. Like I think the Sox were going to non-tender Steven Wilson. And Yoendrys Gomez is found money. Like we kind of talked about him at the end of the year, where this is the stuff the White Sox should be doing. Like, a guy who was on the roster of the Dodgers and Yankees before, and then pitched for you, like, and was pretty good, but they probably saw him as more of a swingman. Like being able to trade guys like that to gamble on an Everson Pereira, I think makes a ton of sense. Pereira's out of options, so he has to be on the team, but I think there's real power. I think he can play center. He strikes out way too much. And if he continues to strike out way too much, like he'll be DFA'd at some point. But I think it's like a gamble that makes sense when you're the White Sox lacking outfielders. I think he's hitting well in winter ball right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's like look, it's not Miguel Vargas, right? But it's similar to that and Curtis Mead and some of these post hype type guys. And you got rid of two guys that weren't really factoring into your plans. So yeah, I think that one's fine. And then Tanner Murray's likely what an infielder in Charlotte is my guess, but he's easy to bring up and down. And he's a good defender. That's the one underrated thing I think about all these moves, and we'll get into it more. I feel like is they're very much leaning into defense.
Yeah, it seems to me that they're trying to raise the floor of the defense just as an overall guideline because Pereira's a good outfielder and Murray's also he's good. I mean, I've only seen him play second base and third base that I remember.
That's what everybody plays at this team.
But yeah, I mean, but it's like one of those things is, we'll just use the same argument that everybody uses with Kyle Teal and Chase Mydrup. They'll just throw him in left field,
Oh yeah.
no big deal.
Well, and the problem with
But
Curtis Mead is I think he's probably a first baseman and he didn't hit it all. So
yeah,
that one's a little bit rough. But hey, maybe the headliner of that trade was Duncan Devitt. But again, you got something for Adrian Hauser, who you signed like mid-season. It's like more found money. These are like actually pretty good deals that they've made. It's some of the other ones that are questionable.
yeah, might be. I don't know. Did you watch the Pereira interview that just the presser that they did a couple days ago?
No, no, I did not.
So I know it's the story that we've heard 100 times, but he said that he was pressing when he came up, and I mean to be fair, he's only got like what 60 at bats or something like
Last
that
year,
in the
yeah. So I think
majors.
I think no, I think he had like 140 with the Yankees 2 years ago.
With the Yankees, okay,
But then yeah, it's like 65 or something with Tampa.
yeah, I don't know. He said he was pressing. I don't doubt it. It seems to be what a lot of these younger guys do, and he says he's gonna try
Well,
and
well, and I'm guessing that like Fuller or the hitting guys see something that they think they can. Yeah, it's worth it. I
yeah,
mean, he hits the ball really hard and he can play center field. So I think this one's fine.
yeah, he does. I don't know. Part of my issue here is that trying to figure out exactly what he is. Because I mean, you've got a pretty small sample size. I mean, the time with the Yankees, I don't. That was a couple of years ago, so like, I don't even really factor that in. I'm like more looking at what he did last year to try and figure that whole thing out. I think with the Goldilocks ball in New York and all that
Yeah.
stuff, that who knows what he's doing, what he's not doing, where he's pressing. He's going in a playoff push. I mean, I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff there that I don't know what I'm looking at, and we'll see what comes of it.
He's one of your favorites though, man. It's an overhyped Yankees prospect.
Always my favorite. I love
Like
overhyped
that's the
Yankees
first thing I thought
prospects.
of when they got him. Like, oh, I'm like, Ian's gonna love this. Like a former Yankee prospect that was like top 75 in baseball, and their fans were like, we should trade this guy for Shohei Ohtani.
He's the next Mickey Mantle. You'll see,
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
Blake Rutherford was.
I know.
All right. So, what's up, Juki? How you doing? Good to see you, man. Been a minute. Um, all right. So, moving along here in the transaction line here, Derek Hill resigns with the White Sox for
Yeah,
900K.
more defense.
Uh, yeah, and from what I understand, it's like a non-guaranteed major league spot.
Yeah, so it's like 900K, but it's 450K in the majors and 400 like, and then he's like, because he's got options. Okay. I didn't really realize that he would be, like, that cheap, like, the manager likes him, another good defender, he had, like, 8 defensive runs saved in center, I think, like, okay, fine. Like, it's not and I know, like, Trey's still here, right? This isn't, like, Dominic Fletcher or, like, one of these other, like, tweener type guys, like, I think he can, like, actually play center.
He
So,
can. Yep.
yeah, so that's fine. Like, if that's your Michael A. Taylor, fine. And you can option him.
I don't, I'm kind of curious if Derek Hill on the I haven't really paid attention to him on the bases, but I mean if he can steal bases and he plays as good as Michael A. Taylor does in the outfield, or even like kind of close, I feel like there's a little bit more upside in his bat than there is for Michael Taylor. Cause I felt like, other than a couple of big Michael Taylor hits, like that was mostly just every time he came in, it was just a funnel, it was, you
Yeah,
knew exactly where it was going to end up.
yeah, and apparently he was like a really good clubhouse guy. So, like the rumor is that Will Venable like loves this guy. Um, which is like, do you know? Does anybody in the chat like where was he? Because the White Sox got him like late in the year, and then I just thought it was like fungible. Obviously, I'm like, oh yeah, this
I
guy doesn't matter, right? But then the longer he stayed on the roster, I was like, well, maybe, maybe this guy's like staying here, right? I just like assumed that he was going to be non-tendered on Friday, and then
Yeah,
the headline
he
of
was with
that
the
tweet.
Marlins. That's
Okay,
what it was. Yeah.
so the headline of that tweet was like, we've reached contract agreement with you know Derek Hill, and all these other dudes are gone. And I was like, wait a second, like, did I read that wrong? It was weird.
Yeah. Um, I'm not mad about it. I don't, you need to have backup outfielders. We don't. I mean, we keep on hearing them say that they're going to keep Luis Robert. I kind of feel like they're going to keep Luis Robert. You don't. I wouldn't be surprised if you're right. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm right. But if Luis Robert gets sent to I don't know, Seattle or something, you need to have somebody to fill in at center field. And it needs to be somebody that can play the field that they feel comfortable with on defense, because you know that you're going to be losing a ton of offense regardless of who you put there.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Is he a lefty hitter? I think he is, right? Let
yeah,
me
I think
look.
so.
I'm gonna look right now.
It's
No,
been a
he's right.
minute.
No, he's right. So
Is
him
he
and
right?
Pereira, yeah, him and Pereira both are. That's why I was wondering. Like that can't be a super cheap center field platoon because they're both right-handed. But
Yeah,
if
and
they sign a lefty hitting outfielder, or then it could be something like that.
and from what I remember, Pereira, for his career, he only hits left-handed pitching for the most part.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, that's similar.
I mean
So
his splits in the majors last year were the opposite, I believe.
yeah, but it's so
But
few at bats that it doesn't matter. Yeah.
yeah,
So the rest of that tweet, Ian, had some stuff in it. I think one of them, is unfortunate for a guy that we talk about often. Um, and then the other one, like the Cam Boozer part, I was just shaking my head because I was just like, this is unbelievable. Like at this point.
I mean Cam Booser was not good, so that one that they non-tendered him was not shocking to me at all. Um, we already got our jabs in on Cam Booser and Camboozled, as Carrie would say. The
You
one
gave
that
up like a real prospect for him, and then he was just bad.
I will quote the person that you talked to.
Yeah,
We won't miss him.
that's what I was told last year when I checked in. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Which look,
So
I mean, maybe he like f- ends and like Yorker Fajardo doesn't get past double A or something, right? Like it's possible, but
I
it just seems kind of unnecessary.
yeah, I'm gonna throw this out there. I did watch him against the Ballers this past season, and from what I remember, he did not fare that well. So, I mean, not that that means really anything. It could have just
Right.
been
Yeah,
one start.
for
His
sure.
numbers overall were pretty good, but I seem to remember watching him going, not that impressed. So, you know, yeah, and as Trey says here, even if Fajardo doesn't work out, the thought process is still pretty flawed.
Yeah, because it's a super young pitcher, right? I understand it completely with a Rony Hernandez when you have 7 catchers in front of him, but with pitchers, it's kind of a dangerous game.
Yeah, that was kind of weird when the guy, what, he had like 2 walks and like 74 strikeouts or something like
Yeah, it
that.
was something crazy in the DSL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, One that really probably hit Carey in the feels here is Tim Elko, the captain, was non-tendered. Um, Torn ACL in the same knee again. So probably season missing surgery. They're saying. Um, he played in the NCAA with torn ACL through the entire, like the back half of the season, and won the College World Series. But this time he's going to have surgery, and it's going to take him away. You know why I'm calling you out that way? You're the only person I know that probably has a Tim Elko jersey.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think so? So do you think that he just like re-signs a minor league deal with the Sox, or do you think this is like it? Like he waits and then because like the thing is like he didn't have like that much of a chance, right? But he's gonna be 27 with some obvious like shortcomings, I think, right? Like just with the fact that he needs to hit for a ton of power and he struck out a lot, whatever, right? We like Tim Elko, that's fine. But like when you see a guy like Bob Seymour go to Japan, like do you think he's gonna have to do something like that? Or do you think he just like comes back through somebody's minors like next year? He's kind of in a tough spot right now.
yeah, no, this is like the pretty much the worst case scenario for his career. Is that I want one thing that I really, if I could ask Tim Elko any question, it would be when exactly did you hurt your knee?
Oh, it was well before that last time he was up and he looked terrible.
That's what I'm thinking as well. So it's kind of one of those things where, like I'm sure the dude was pushing when he came up to the White Sox. When he went back down, probably happened, like maybe then, when he went back down. I mean, he's still hitting some home runs. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, he would be awesome. I mean, I'm not like relegating him to Asia, but he would be awesome there. Like that's why I asked. Because
Yeah.
Bob Seymour's gonna hit like 45 dingers there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that'd be, I mean, I would certainly watch. I would if I could get like uh like a Cebu Lions Tim Elko jersey, I'm
Yeah.
totally there.
Uh-huh.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be
But
cool.
I mean, let's hope, I don't
Yeah,
know if he's gonna resign, but we'll see.
my guess is he returns on a minors deal and then and then hope maybe he could be back. Because when was that they announced that surgery? Like he could potentially be back towards the end of the season.
I would think. When they said it was like 8 months recovery, I was like, "You sure about
It's a
that?"
baseball player. Like it's,
Yeah. Yeah,
like
we're not talking about a running back
I
here,
know,
you
yeah.
know? Yeah. Everything said he'd be back in June.
Okay,
Alright.
okay. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if he signs with the I mean, either way, it's gonna be a minor league deal somewhere.
Uncle Ted, you just keep on throwing these combinations of letters in the comments, and I
Yeah,
have no idea what you're talking about.
he's making up Japanese players.
I think that one's Korean, I
Yeah.
think.
Kang Backhoe? Yes.
Yeah. Backhoe. That's a very
Backhoe.
useful in construction.
Yes.
Um, so,
That's funny.
Mike Talkman non-tendered as well.
Yeah. So, I guess it's not terribly surprising. So, the weird thing with Mike Talkman is, like, I thought he had some value at the deadline. They did him a solid by not trading him because he's local and he had a sick child, and, like, that's cool that they did him the solid. Um, I just kinda thought they'd be able to trade him for something, and clearly they couldn't or they would have before non-tendering him. Some have speculated that maybe he comes back for, like, 2,000,000 or something and they save, whatever the ARB cost was, but, like,
Doesn't
I don't
make
know.
sense for him.
Yeah, I don't think it really makes sense for the Sox either. Like, we kinda talked about this, like, I like Mike Tauchman, he had a 112 WRC plus, I think, last year, pretty solid dude, but he's hurt a lot. I don't know that he can play the outfield anymore regularly. You're gonna have to give DH at bats to, like, one of your catchers and Andrew Benintendi. Like, this might just be, they couldn't get anything for him, which what you're gonna get somebody's 28th ranked prospect anyway. So you just kinda let him walk now. So, like, I get it. I was, like, a little surprised. Like, I expected to see them, like, "Oh, they traded him to somebody for this." And it's like, "Oh, okay." that makes sense. But like when they just straight out non-tendered him, I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah, I found that kind of surprising as well. He's like what your one of your top OPS plus on the team, WRC plus. He's one of the top ones on the team behind Sosa, I believe. And it's just I think that when you see him get two hamstring injuries in the
Yeah.
same season, and like that one where he rounded third base and came home to score, and he just came up lame, about 40 feet down the
Mm-hmm.
line. It was just kind of, for me, it was kind of the writing on the wall that this dude's kind of physically done.
Yeah, and he's
Um,
35 this year. I think he can help a contender as like an extra guy, like good clubhouse dude, bench bat. I just feel like the Sox are probably aiming for more, and it's going to be Braden Montgomery like really, really soon anyway. So, if it was projected at $3 million, I kind of understand why they non-tendered.
yeah, I think it was something like the last month of the season or something like that. He was hitting like 230 or something. So that's not really all that shocking, And I mean, be honest here, you're basically looking at Jake Taylor, a guy who,
Hmm.
if I saw him pop up in the White Sox coaching position as an outfield coach, I would 100% not be surprised.
Oh, Mike Talkman.
Yeah, like this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, because he's from Palatine and like he
Yeah.
just I don't know that he wanted to go anywhere else, right? So there's only two local teams. So unless like one of the local teams or the Brewers wants him, like he's moving or living away from his family. So
Yep. So speaking of coaching hires,
yeah, so
uh,
this is I didn't know who this person was either.
so okay, so you want to go to that one first? We'll go to that one
Oh,
first. Jose Laguerre, who is now the manager of your guy, Larry Garcia, down with the Gigantes, um, del Cibao,
yeah,
Bao or Cibao,
I know.
something
I
like
saw
that.
that. Yeah.
Um, so he is now the first base coach for your fighting Chicago White Sox. Uh, he was with the Twins for 2 years as a third baseman and a catcher. Managed in the Florida the Florida Complex League, rookie ball, A ball for the Mets, and then he was 4 years he was the manager for the Double A Cardinals for 4 years, and now he's in Lidom or Lidom, whatever you want to call it, down in
Yeah,
Dominican Winter Ball.
managing. I was trying to figure out like who has a connection to this guy? Like who knows him? Because it's weird, right? Like I feel like he didn't overlap with Keller in New York. Minnesota was along like he was in the Cardinals system for the last 4 years. Um, did the White Sox affiliates play them at all in anything?
They play the Cardinals. They play the Springfield Redbirds. They play them. They play a couple of the teams play. Um,
So, yeah, so do you think this is like they sifted through like resumes for a first base coach and landed on this guy that they loved? I don't know. Like I don't see, I mean, I'm sure he's fine. I just like don't know where I was trying to figure out like, oh, where the connection was. And there doesn't really seem to be one. Maybe they'll explain.
I also find it kind of odd because he was a third baseman and a catcher, mostly caught in the minor leagues,
Right.
and Bourgeois was the outfield coach as well as the first base coach. So generally, I would think that you'd probably want an outfielder as the outfield coach.
Yeah, maybe there's another outfielder coming or another coach coming.
Yeah, I mean that's possible.
Could
I
they
don't know.
have Jershily do it? Or is he an infielder? Like,
I thought he was an. I thought he was a.
yeah, I thought
I
he
thought
was
he was
too.
an
I mean, he's
infielder.
the infield coach, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe they need somebody to be the outfield coach. Like I don't know. They're gonna. I mean, there's also other higher. There's a higher that I know about, but apparently there's more in support roles coming as well.
Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention when we were going through the transactions. Fraser Ellard retired. My
Yeah.
favorite rosin bag spiking uh, angry reliever has voluntarily retired voluntarily retired,
Yes. Yeah.
and yeah, what a seems like kind of odd timing. I mean, I know that there were some nagging injuries and whatever, but he just decided that he wants to have a family, and this ain't
Yeah,
working out.
he has some businesses or something, which is good. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like rehabbing injuries sucks. Like if he kind of feels like he's not willing to do what would be required to even be like an up and down guy. Like I get it. It's just not something you typically see with somebody as young as he is, with his like career in front of him in theory.
Yeah, I found it kind of strange, but the only thing I could figure in that, Chris Getz kind of put the kibosh on this, but I thought maybe that there was like an injury that was like something that he was like, this is going to be way too much work to overcome. But turns out it just is that he wants to have a family and he has businesses that he'd rather pursue.
Right, and he can't do both things. I mean, you can't like half-ass this, right? And he kind of felt like his heart wasn't in it, so he stopped. Maybe he returns. Like this happens, right? Like Cam Booster retired after a bunch of injuries too, and then returns.
True. So the other hire that was made, and this one is interesting. Um, and so they hired Derek Schoman, who had been with the Schaumburg Boomers. So now they're hiring the director of analytics that was the with the Boomers here. He's also been he was the development tech guy with Houston. He was the development coach with the Royals, and he was development and data for the Rangers before going to the Boomers. Tony Medina, who's a local guy as well.
Yep, another local guy who I know I've been in like group chats and stuff with before. Good dude from what I know. I kind of heard about this a couple weeks ago, and I think he thought it was a possibility. When Showman was hired. So yeah, a couple of outside the box moves, but I mean, it's a guy who's worked with big league players before. So I think he works at some local facilities too. So yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if they're like gonna do this on the pitching side, like they haven't announced his title, right? He's like just probably doing data with big league hitters, like showing them stuff on video, like, hey, FYI, like this is what this looked like. Do what you will as a major leaguer type thing, that sort of analysis, like that sort of stuff. That's you know, they just like have technicians all over the place that are like trying to help the players. So
Yeah, I also find it interesting. So like he's like certified in um with well, I'm blanking right here, but he's K1 motion. He's certified in that, and then he's why the heck am I? It's not tread.
well, no, these guys are all familiar with like the traject machines, right? That's what yeah, it's like
No, I was talking about pitching. Actually, he's certified in K1 motion for pitching, and then Kyle Body. Why the heck am I forgetting?
oh yes. Driveline?
Yes, Driveline. He's
Yeah.
Driveline for pitching. He's also certified there. So, I mean, there's some interesting things that he has going on, and there's like multiple directions that this hire could possibly go, and I don't really know
Yeah.
exactly what that is yet.
Well, so their assistant hitting coach is a driveline guy too. The guy who was on their staff last year. That is like their holdover hitting coach from the
Mm-hmm.
Reds. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
so he worked at driveline before he worked at the with the Reds. So yeah, these guys must, all kind of know each other. Derek Showman's a character, man. Like I've listened to like some of his like long form podcast stuff that he's done. He's awesome. I bet he would be fun to like, hang out with.
seems like it.
And he gets to come home. I think that's like super cool.
Yeah, like coming back to his team that he watched as a kid and gets to work and drive into the rate every day for work. That's pretty rad.
Yeah,
So
and he's like qualified too. It's not like it was just like let's hire some local guy, but it probably helps.
yeah, for sure. Have we made like a definite connection there as to where how Showman got here, other
No,
than that?
I think it was just an interview process. It sounds like.
Hmm,
Yeah, there's like he applied for the job and really hit it off with Fuller, and it seems like Fuller and Bannister had a lot of say, like in these two main hires.
interesting. Yeah, because I hadn't heard anything else other than I couldn't draw any connections myself, so
No, well, Zach Bove is because he was a Royal, so.
well, I'm done for the week, personally. Do you have anything else for this week?
Yeah, we have to talk about the future steward of the Chicago White Sox.
Future steward. Oh, Justin Ishbia. All right.
Yeah.
I don't I'll be 100% honest. The only thing I know is that he talked to the Pope
Yes.
and said something about a stadium. Other than that, like, I was, like,
He did the
out of
same
communication.
he did the same interview with, like, 4 different media outlets. So he talked to John Greenberg, who wrote a nice story, whatever. Paul Sullivan, guy Mitch Armentrout at the Sun-Times, like, talked to him. It
Michael
was just
Ehrmantraut?
yeah, Michael, yeah, is it Michael? I thought it was
No,
Mitch.
Michael Ehrmantraut's the one from, Breaking Bad.
Okay, yeah, I think it's Mitch Armentrout. Yes,
Yeah.
no. I don't think Mitch Armentrout of the Sun-Times is killing anyone for money. But,
Maybe.
um, you know, so, yeah, it was just interesting. Like, he said that he'll never call himself an owner because he's a steward and it's like a public trust, right? And you're like, yeah, like, and like it doesn't mean a whole ton because I don't know when he's like taking over, right? But he did confirm that Reinsdorf owns 100% of the team right now. He was talking about a stadium and like basically said that they will build a new stadium either now or later, but he's 48 and like that's happening essentially. And he wanted the Pope to throw out the first pitch. And my whole thing was like, can this guy just take over tomorrow? And look, there's some stuff going on with his brother in Phoenix that's like kind of shady, but like, I just don't care. Like, I would literally take any 48-year-old with $5 billion instead of Jerry Reinsdorf. Like, I don't like the negative stuff. Like, I'm just going to put my fingers in my ears. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't. Like, it's fine. Like, you can tell me all the negative stuff you want about this guy. Like, I will take not Jerry Reinsdorf, like, just in general.
I too am ready for that to happen. I just, like, the whole thing that, like, kinda just throws cold water on me here is that it's possible that he's not the guy until, like, 2034. Like, how absurd is that?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seems like 29 is going to be when it is.
Yeah.
Like my guess is there's like this lockout and then there's a salary cap. Ha ha. No, I'm kidding. Um, there's like this lockout and then maybe
There's
he's
another
more
thing for you to laugh at.
yeah, and then yeah, I know. And then maybe he's more front facing for a little bit and then he takes over in 29, right? That's
Yeah,
my
for
guess.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know where like so he also debunked that the Nashville thing. He said this literally in 4 different newspaper articles where he said like if he wanted to buy a team that wasn't in the town where he lived, he would have just bought the Twins. Like he's not moving the Sox to Nashville. And like Major League Baseball doesn't want to move a team to Nashville. They want to like start a team there because all the owners need the franchise. But people like keep saying this, you know? Like it's just absolutely insane. Like the Nashville thing. And people keep saying it, like, oh, they're gonna go wherever he has money. Like Bruce Levine said that this weekend, right? He's like, oh, if the state doesn't give money, if the state doesn't give money. No, Jerry Reinsdorf needs the state to give him money. This guy doesn't need money from the state because he has $5 billion. Now I'm sure he does for infrastructure and whatever, right? But the guy who's the soccer guy, Joe Mansueto,
Yeah.
he didn't ask the state for any money because
Yeah.
he's a billionaire and he's like, you know what, this stadium's going to cost 700 million. Like, I'll just pay for it. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
it's
that's what Ishbia would do.
yeah, I think that the issue here is that Jerry, yes, he's a multi-billionaire, but the thing is he's not liquid.
No, 100%. It doesn't like just because he could sell the Sox for whatever, right? $2.5 billion doesn't mean he has that much money.
Right.
He does not.
Yeah, and he's only like what 50 is he 51%? What is he? As far as percent, I don't even know.
He what, Jerry?
Jerry, yeah.
I don't even think he owns that much. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
don't think
might
he's
not
ever,
be only like
he's,
20% or
yeah,
something.
he's just the chairman. Like and they bought up a bunch of shares. And look, I do think Ishbia is like around like 40% now. Because then he'll get the Jerry shares and then whatever. It just doesn't, yeah, like it's just weird, this whole thing, like you're just like waiting for him to take over, right? And you have the whole like morbid thing where it's like you don't want anything to happen to Jerry, but you just like want a new owner. It's just like, can you please just step aside and like let somebody else do this?
That's what I would
And it
prefer.
just like doesn't seem like he has any interest in that. It's like I just like don't like I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make any sense like right
Yeah,
now.
I have heard nothing but, I know a couple people that have dealt with him and, in business matters and in personal matters, and they said nothing but good things about the guy. But I'm with you, like, I don't want him to die. I just want him to move along. you know? I know you don't like playing pinochle or bridge or whatever, or you don't play golf. Find another hobby, man, and just move along and just enjoy it from afar, you know?
Yeah, and it's yeah, I mean yeah, and I think everybody's cheering, about the public I'm a steward and public trust thing, and like, yeah, that's fine. I think some of that stuff is like kind of true. Like it's like somebody else will take it over after him, like whatever, fine. I just like to see something different because we kind of know how this is gonna go. Like we just, we're gonna be rooting for Ryan O'Hearn and Mike Yastrzemski and waiting for prospects to come up, basically.
Yeah, I again, this season, is another season where you're like, wins are not of the utmost importance. I mean, obviously, you want to see some progression here in a win total. Nobody wants to see him winning 50 games, 45 games. Heaven forbid,
Yeah. Oh, did you
41
see
games.
the other thing too is like so the new baseball media deal where ESPN is now taking over MLB TV, which doesn't really affect me because like we're local, right? I don't really care. Um but one thing it did is I guess the draft now is moving to Saturday. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, so night 1 of the draft moves to Saturday of All-Star weekend, so that the futures game can be played on the Sunday night. My guess
Hmm.
is that the second day of the draft will just go all day Sunday then leading into the futures game. That hasn't been announced yet. I checked with somebody with the White Sox and their interpretation is that yeah, like it'll just be the next day or whatever, but yeah, the draft has moved up one night for this year.
There are a couple of concerns here for me. I'm just wondering on a functionality and monetary change for everybody that's been streaming things. I mean, like, now if ESPN's doing it, I mean, you've seen how ESPN has. How about this? I don't know if you have, but I just canceled Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, I'm in the so yeah, so me and my wife are having the conversation because like I have the bundle because I needed insider articles. I just like a lot of their writers and I need Passon and some of their football stuff. But now all their insider articles are free. Like they moved them,
Hmm.
they're not behind the paywall anymore. And I don't need Hulu. So it's way cheaper if we just cancel the thing and then I just pay for Disney separately potentially.
It's
But
$190 now for a year.
of what,
They
Disney
just,
Plus?
yeah, they just jacked the price up
Yeah, it's insane.
again.
Right.
So this is my fear, is that if you are relying on ESPN slash, I mean, essentially Disney, you're relying on Disney to not start jacking the price up, and
Right.
it's just, to me, it's a worrisome Pandora's box. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, and I don't know how they plan on doing this whole thing. Like, I know a bunch of people uh are, they get the MLB.TV through T-Mobile.
Yeah, that's still that you can still do that, I guess.
For the first year, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, who knows what's going to happen afterwards? And
Right.
I mean, there's just so many variables now that I feel like there's a bunch of stuff that could end up screwing you.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that part of it. Yeah, like I said, like I locally, like I need CHSN and that's like impossible too. So like it's just kind of like one of those things where um But yeah, the other like I have YouTube TV and apparently like I get the ESPN like app now because of that. That doesn't include MLB TV, which is fine. But yeah, like apparently like, I have access to ESPN content because I have YouTube TV, which okay.
Yeah. I'll say not like completely worried about that whole thing, but I've given it a little bit of thought and kind of thought maybe there's possibility that something might kind of go sideways here. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, the big Rob Manfred rebound apparently is what they're saying. He fumbled and then figured it out somehow.
Yeah, well, I mean, you still need what's that? The Roku. They've got a Roku Sunday morning game that you
Yeah,
have to watch on a Roku
yeah,
unless you have MLB.TV.
there's Peacock stuff. There's a Netflix game now or something like
I
the
think that the
Home Run
Peacock got
Derby is
taken
on
over
Netflix.
by Roku.
Okay.
I think.
But
But
NBC
now,
but
now what
NBC gets a
happens?
Sunday night baseball.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of cool. That's back. I don't know. We'll see.
I wonder if it's going to be Benetti.
Hmm.
I just don't know.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, it's not gonna. I mean, it's like Mike Tirico. He's like, yeah, he does everything else. Why not?
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is ESPN going to put up with him eating a campfire milkshake on air? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
Are you good?
I'm good.
All right, sir. I'm going to walk us out then. You have been watching / listening to the Future Sox podcast. If you are listening to this in podcast form, know that you can find us every Sunday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube and the Purple app. The Future Sox podcast is now a part of the Just Baseball Media Network. You can also find this podcast along with all of our written content at futuresox.net. If you are looking for White Sox prospect highlights, you can find them on X at Future Sox and now also here on our YouTube channel. If you love the content and want to support us here at Future Sox, there is a link to our Patreon in our channel description and at futuresox.net. You can also toss up a super chat on our YouTube stream. Also, don't forget to like this stream and subscribe with notifications so you know when we're going live while helping us in the World Wide Web algorithms. My name is Ian Eskridge at Daily White Sox. He is James Fox at JamesFox917. We appreciate all of you. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Thank you so much for, unless something absolutely goes nuclear tomorrow, we will not be on until after Thanksgiving. So you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out in the chat. Thanks for dealing with the weird schedule for us this week. We appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.